So up next, we got our Crystal Howell in with us. You know how Crystal Howell does it. She helps us to manage our pennies, and that is what she's been doing over the past few weeks. Last week, we were focusing on those really, really in dire need, those who would have been coming off of those NIS contributions. So it's all about making sure that everyone understands that at some time you do have, especially during COVID-19 time, you may have to tighten your belt a little bit and spend only on what you need. Splurgings may not be the answer right now at all. But yeah, Crystal Howell will be in. And then it's all about getting back to the classroom, Peter. You know the children are heading back into school
Next
next
week.
Monday, and we'll be having
Which
a
is
number of
the
conversations.
best day of the year. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'll give you that opportunity because you're a
Thank
Virgo.
you.
I'll give
Thank
you
you.
it. You go
Thank you.
ahead.
Thank you.
People like Cassandra
You're going to
would not
get cut.
understand. Yeah, people like Cassandra would not understand. And we welcome back you Channel 8 viewers as we continue to celebrate the Virgos right here on Morning Barbados. Peter being one of them. Well, I did my celebrations already. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're going to get into that conversation where we manage those pennies. We got Crystal Howell, our certified internal auditor, to help us with that. Always looking wonderful. A
Long time
splendid
no see,
Monday to
Krista.
you. How are you doing
I
this
feel
morning,
like
Crystal?
I am doing much better than yesterday. I thought I was going to melt completely into a puddle. The heat
Yep.
was so bad.
Yep. Wait
And
till you get older.
yeah, listen.
I
I
heard your hot
I know
flashes joke. It
exactly.
was definitely on point.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to
Crystal,
see you.
yeah, always a pleasure to see you because there's so many people that depend on your help nowadays every Monday as we try to help people during this time. We had some news this morning from Senator Tony Moore talking about that 80% that those hotel workers and workers in the sector will be getting once those hoteliers sign on to this worker re-engagement program. So there's some light at the end of the tunnel, but it's a bit unclear how soon when the program will start. It could start soon though. What do you have for us this morning to help these workers transition? And of course, there are other people in other sectors who are, watching every dollar they spend.
Well, before we get into that, there was actually something that was brought up by Senator Caswell Franklin, which I'm very glad that he would have highlighted this issue because I definitely was unaware, but I'm sure that it was highly publicized and everything. But it's in relation to the severance payments. And
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make sure that for those who are unaware, because as much as you may try to get the information out there, it's still sometimes everybody doesn't catch it, but it's in relation to an amendment that was made to the Severance Payments Act with regards to the temporary rights to severance payments for layoffs or for short time. And traditionally, you would have had a year to be able to claim the severance payments if you've been laid off for a period of 22 consecutive weeks or for a series of 18 or more weeks within a period of 24 weeks. You know, the
Oh
legislation
yeah,
sometimes
my
gets through the
goodness.
whole mix up. But basically, the change is that you have now 4 weeks to make your claim for the severance payment. So you need to give a notice of intention to claim within 4 weeks so that you'll be able to claim your severance payments. And the website still has the year, so it may not have been updated as yet. But if you look for the amendment bill, you will see the change that has been made there. And it may just be a delay in making sure that that information is updated on the website, that it's no longer a year, you now have 4 weeks. So
Wow.
I just wanted to make sure that persons were aware of this change and you can go and look for the information yourself. I'm also hoping that more discussion will be held around this so that we will be able to understand why the changes were made. Persons can understand what they have to do to make sure that they can get that notice out as soon as possible, especially given that for some persons that time may actually be coming up very soon. and they should get started on that process right away. If you've been laid off, that amount of time is about 5.5 months. So persons who've been laid off during COVID time in March, that time may be coming up very soon, and you only have 4 weeks to be able to make your claims for severance. And
Mm.
as I said, get on it. This is not the time to be delaying anything, because when you're looking for all of the ways that you can make sure that you have your inflows, you do not want that because you have not made this claim in a timely manner that you're no longer entitled to severance. So hopefully there's some explanation that will come out on as to why the change would have been made. I know sometimes going through all of the publications on Parliament's website can be a bit daunting, but for something with this level of importance to me, I'm hoping that there is more discussion to come on it at some point.
Well, quick question. Sorry, Peter. I just want to follow
No,
on.
go ahead.
I know some people may still have questions about if they're entitled for severance payment. So how do you know? What is the criteria? If you have that, or you can share it with us.
Well, going through the act, it speaks to when you would have been laid off. So the time period and the other criteria would not have, it does not seem as though they've significantly changed, but because the bill is only 7 pages and the changes aren't significant. So there wouldn't have been any huge departure from what would have been there before, but it does definitely, the 4 weeks is definitely a significant change. And for persons who may be used to the idea that you have a year, we definitely want to make sure that persons know that that is no longer the case, so that they don't go, say, 2 months afterwards and realize that they're no longer entitled. But going through the bill, the majority of the changes seem to be in relation to that and having to give notice on the intention to claim.
Mm.
Well, I'm looking at the time right now, and I realize that we are going to soon run out of time. But just quickly, one way that we can survive after job loss. One way.
It is it's a lifestyle change. It's not going to be easy. Anybody who gives the impression that it's going to be easy, we have to dispel that for sure. But we definitely need to shape up our mindset towards money, how we earn money, the additional ways that we'll be doing so, and how we save and manage and spend our money in terms of wants versus needs. So having that very strict conversation with ourselves about what we truly need versus what we want, because this is the time, even if you still manage to keep your job, we do not know what the future looks like. It's very important to develop good financial habits, even if you have not lost your job.
Okay.
Quickly, Crystal, before you go, just tell our viewers where they can find an electronic copy of this new piece of legislation, this amendment.
You can go on Parliament's website or you can Google it. If you
Mm-hmm.
put in, I think it would have come up on the screen. You would have the bill that would amend the Severance Payments Act, and it was
Right.
amended the 12th of June 2020.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Crystal. Always a pleasure having you on. The information we need. I see Linton here saying only 7 pages. So we hope that people
Oh,
take a
okay.
read
Thank
and
you.
they understand exactly what these changes are and how they affect them. Again, Crystal, a big thank you to you. See you next Monday.